Beyond the Gates, BTG, spoilers for Tuesday, March 4th, suggest all hands will be on deck for the Dupree family as they work on damage control after Daphnee Duplaix's, Karla Mosley, gun-toting outburst during Bill Hamilton's, Timon Duet, and Haley Lawson's, Mokita Going's, wedding. She not only pulled a gun and shot at the couple before they said their I do's, it was all caught on film and went viral on social media, thanks to Chelsea Hamilton's, Ronnie Rose Mantilla, slip of a finger. Unfortunately, Daphnee and Bill's daughter went live on Instagram when everything went down, and the entire wedding chaos was caught on film for millions of followers to see during the Monday, March 3rd episode. It sounds like the Dupree family will host a media conference to explain Daphanee's actions. The good news is that no one was hurt by what she did, and it doesn't sound like Bill is pressing charges. However, the bad news is, the video painted a picture of a very unhinged Daphnee. Will the family be able to smooth things over and move past this scandal after the media conference, or will the drama continue to ensue? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Over to Bradley Smitty Smith, Mike Manning. He'll continue to question Martin Richardson, Brandon Claiborne, about all the talking he does in his sleep. Smitty's hubby has been violent during his dreams, which is disturbing to say the least. It's clear Martin has a secret that Vernon Dupree, Clifton Davis, and Anita Dupree, Tamara Tunie, are desperate to keep under wraps and may have to do with the congressman murdering someone, at some point, either by accident or on purpose. Lastly, Beyond the Gate spoilers suggest Derek Baldwin, Ben Gavin, will begin to feel insecure about his romance. Who could blame him? Fans can already sense sparks between Derek's girlfriend, Ashley Morgan, Jen Jacob, and resident Fairmont Crest playboy, Andre Richardson, Sean Freeman. Vanessa stood up abruptly, her chair scraping loudly against the floor. She looked down at him, a maelstrom of betrayal, hurt, and confusion in her gaze. "It changes everything," she echoed, her voice trembling. I need to be away from you. I need to think." She turned and walked out of Kelly's, leaving Joey alone with the wreckage of his confession. He felt hollowed out, but beneath the despair was a grim thread of relief. The secret was out. The monster was named. Now, he had to live in the ruins. Across town, at General Hospital, the atmosphere was one of sterile efficiency, a stark contrast to the emotional tempest at the diner. Ashley Knight finished updating a patient chart at the nurse's station, the fatigue of a double shift settling in her bones. All she wanted was a hot shower and 12 hours of silent sleep. As she rounded the corner toward the staff lounge to retrieve her bag, she heard a familiar, low timbre of a voice coming from a secluded alcove near a supply closet. It was Derek Wells, the handsome, enigmatic new hospital administrator who had been the subject of much speculation and admiration since his arrival. But it wasn't his usual confident, polished tone. It was strained, urgent, almost pleading. "Have to understand, the timeline is moving faster than anticipated. I'm doing everything I can on this end, but if they audit the Corinthos account before I can reroute the funds, it's all going to come crashing down." Ashley froze, pressing herself against the cool wall. Corinthos account. As in sunny Corinthos. The pieces, fragments of overheard whispers and strange financial discrepancies she'd glimpsed but dismissed, began to swirl ominously. "No, the old Metro court site is the key," Derek continued, his voice dropping even lower. Ashley risked a peek. He stood with his back to her, phone pressed to his ear, his free hand clenched at his side. "The environmental reports have to be buried. If Cassandra gets a whiff of the soil contamination, the whole deal is dead, and so is our leverage with Cyrus. I've got the contractor in my pocket, but the city inspector is a problem. Handle it." Cyrus. Contamination. Burying reports. The words hit Ashley like physical blows. This wasn't just administrative corner-cutting. This was conspiracy. Fraud. This connected Derek to the most dangerous men in Port Charles. She must have made a sound, a sharp intake of breath, the scuff of her shoe on linoleum, because Derek went instantly silent. He ended the call without another word and slowly turned around. His eyes, usually sparkling with charming intelligence, were cold, sharp, and utterly terrifying as they locked onto hers. The charming facade was gone, stripped away to reveal something calculating and ruthless beneath. "Ashley," he said, his voice smooth again, but with an underlying edge of steel. How long have you been standing there? Her heart hammered against her ribs, a frantic drum of panic. Every instinct screamed to play dumb, to run. But she was a knight. And knights, even scared ones, faced their battles. She forced her chin up, meeting his gaze. Long enough, Derek. Or should I call you by your real name? Who are you really working for? Cyrus. Or yourself? A slow, humorless smile touched his lips. He took a step toward her, and she held her ground, though every fiber of her being wanted to retreat. The alcove felt suddenly like a cage. You have exceptional hearing, Nurse Knight. But in this town, some things are better left unheard. For your own safety. He took another step, now firmly blocking her path to the brighter, busier hallway. You look tired. A long shift. The mind can play tricks when you're tired, can't it? Make you imagine conversations. It wasn't a suggestion. It was a threat, velvet-wrapped and deadly. I didn't imagine anything, Ashley said, her voice surprisingly steady. You're conspiring with Cyrus Renault to defraud Sunny Corinthos and cover up an environmental hazard. That's not fatigue. That's a felony. Several of them. Derek's smile vanished. The predatory calm settled over him. A very specific and dangerous fantasy. Port Charles is a town built on them. And sometimes, people who cling too tightly to dangerous fantasies have accidents. They get overwhelmed at work. They make tragic medication errors. Or perhaps they just disappear. The icy precision of his threat cut through her bravado. He wasn't just threatening her, he was threatening her career, her life, and framing it as her own failure. Are you threatening me? She whispered. I'm advising you, he corrected, his voice a soft, sinister caress. Go home, Ashley. Take a long bath. Forget this ever happened. For the sake of everyone you care about. Your brother, that firefighter you're always smiling at. What's his name? Cameron. It would be a shame if their lives got complicated because of a misunderstanding. He knew about Cameron. He'd been watching her. The reality of her situation crashed down. She was in over her head, and she was alone. Derek finally stepped aside, a courtly gesture that was more menacing than his blockade. The hallway is clear. I suggest you take it. And remember, we never had this chat. With a final, searing look, Ashley walked past him, her legs trembling. She could feel his eyes on her back all the way down the corridor. She didn't breathe properly until she was outside in the chilly night air, but the cold couldn't reach the deeper chill that had settled in her soul. She had stumbled into a viper's nest. Derek Wells was not just a slick businessman. He was a central player in a dangerous game, and she now held a secret that could get her killed. Telling anyone, Cameron,